Welcome back, everyone, to the front line with Joe and Joe Pasillo and Joe Rossinello. And once more, let us go into the breach. Joe, I'm just going to play the ad, and then I want to know what you have to say.
Republicans need a new leader, and Tucker Carlson is ready to lead. No one in America is more articulate and pins down leftists in both parties better than Tucker. Tucker always fought for us, like Rush Limbaugh did. Tucker Carlson is witty, sharp, and mocks woke nonsense. Tucker will whip Biden in a debate. Sign the petition. Draft Tucker Carlson for president. Draft Tucker PAC is responsible for the contents of this advertisement.
So, Joe, here's the thing. I'll tell you what. Tucker Carlson, in my view, okay, he believes and stands for all the things that we stand for, okay? He fights just as much for social issues as he does political ones. Yeah, Tucker Carlson for president. I'm all in. What about you?
I'll be honest with you. I would vote for him.
In a second.
Does he want to run is the question. I mean, like, I don't know if he would want to subject himself and his family to that. You never know, though. Listen, think about how Donald Trump became the president. It was almost like a fluke, to be honest with you. And he became the president.
Right.
So, I mean, like, crazier things can and do happen. I do think he does. See, Joe, I'll tell you this. The more we've been doing this, there are clearly differences in, opinions out there. And obviously the channels will just pit, say, CNN versus Fox.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. While there are definite differences of opinion, I actually think the real battle isn't CNN versus Fox, isn't Republican versus Democrat. I actually think they want us to be involved in these battles because I personally think the real battle, and this is the battle that Tucker Carlson fought, is the battle between the institution versus the people. And the people don't realize that even if we disagree on certain things, they ultimately are going to keep you under their thumb unless you're part of the elite establishment. And most people aren't. Right. And we get caught up in a lot of these conversations, and we can agree to disagree. And some of those conversations are huge. But what Tucker did was he brought to light the fact that there is an elite establishment which blankets both Republicans and Democrats that don't represent the people. Justice is politicized. We're seeing that with Donald Trump, like him or not. Sorry, it's not. Justice is not equal when it comes to certain people in this country. We're seeing that with the Durham reports now, like him or not. So we have to get our country back. Who is the we? The people. And if it's not Tucker Carlson, it needs to be someone. It needs to be someone.
Does it
because
show
it's no longer a country of the people, Joe?
Well, does it show you? I don't care what anybody says, and I've had this argument with liberals. Say, tell me Trump's positions that you disagree with. Now, obviously, they say, well, judges. I love abortion, or I support abortion. Okay, leave that aside for a second. Standing up to China, imposing tariffs in order to protect workers. Liberals and Democrats always refer that tariffs. Okay. A more balanced economy between corporations and labor, business and labor, okay? Reworking NAFTA because we're getting cheated. There's so many things that Donald Trump was in favor of, and you say that to a liberal and their brains explode because when you say that, they can't even, it's like cognitive dissonance. They can't understand how, I hate that guy, but I do really value that position. My larger point is that's why Trump got elected, not because he called George Jeb Bush, Sleepy Jeb, or all that stuff. He got elected because he actually talked about and cared about the things that real people care about. Many of those positions are former Democrat positions, and Tucker Carlson does the same thing. Tucker Carlson told Ben Shapiro, he said, if technology is going to replace workers, then hell yeah, I'm completely against it. You're not going to replace workers with technology. No. And that's the kind of stuff. That's just an example of the kind of stuff that, something, if Tucker Carlson threw his hat in the ring, I think he's going to be a formidable opponent. Let's leave it there at the front line. Go ahead, Joe. Final thought.
I would agree with you 100%, Joe. He would be. Ultimately, we got to get our country back, Joe.
Yeah.
That, like, to be honest with you, people, like, honestly, take a step back. And even if you don't like Donald Trump, you don't have to like him. Keep this in mind. What you're seeing with regard to how Donald Trump is being treated right now, 10 years from now could be done to you.
Right.